Our emotional wellness seems to be getting more unhealthy as each passing generation, although it's probably not. It's probably just an appearance of that. You see women on a daily basis, and you said you have a lot of counseling in your job. So educate me and our listeners on what area of emotional wellness is affecting women the most.
Well, I guess I want to talk about hormones because that really plays a big role into that. So hormones, basically, to define it, is a complex substance that's produced in one part of the body that's usually carried through the bloodstream to target and do its action on another, either group of cells or organ. Okay, and for simplicity's sake, I'll classify it into three subtypes. So those are the thyroid hormones, the stress hormones, and the sex hormones. I won't focus too much on the first two, more on the latter, since that's primarily what I do, what my expertise is in. So thyroid hormones are for the purpose of metabolism, so they metabolize protein, fat, carbohydrates, and they're also important for heart function, important for heat regulation. So they have a lot of very vital, critical, important actions in our body. And these levels can be altered by other hormones because all the hormones are interrelated. So when we have low thyroid or suboptimal low normal levels, then there's issues of fatigue, weight gain or difficulty losing weight, constipation, dry skin, brittle nails, menstrual irregularities. So anyway, going on to the next subclass is the stress hormones. So the good Lord made us in a way that if we're under stress, our body adapts to it by doing certain functions. So if you're about to be in an accident, or you're in the jungle, you have a lion attacking you. Of course, that doesn't happen very often, but whatever the stressor may be, it may be something very simple, such as you spilt a glass of milk in the morning and you are going to be late to work if you clean it up, or do you leave it there and let it get sticky and smell bad by the end of the day? So that's a stressor, even though it's a minor one, right? But our body was designed to attack the significant stressors so that there's the fight or flight response. So what happens is our heart rate goes up, our blood pressure goes up, because we need to be revved up to deal with that stressor at the time. More sugar is released into our body because we need that energy to get through it. Our lungs expand more so that we can breathe more readily. So all of these things are happening, but when it is a perpetual, continuous situation that our body is constantly doing these functions to deal with the stress, it becomes burdensome. So you can get to a point where you're constantly revved up and have a lot of anxiety and sleep difficulties and diabetes, because remember I mentioned that the sugar levels go up. Or you can go to the other extreme where your body cannot compensate and no longer can produce those stress hormones to allow your body to deal with the stressor, that you end up having depletion and what we call adrenal fatigue, because the adrenal gland, which sits on top of our kidneys, are what produces our stress hormones. So that's all I'm going to mention on that, and then we'll go on to the sex hormones, which are estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. And estrogen is produced to help breast growth, development, our sexual characteristics. It also helps with bone, to prevent bone resorption. It also helps with moods and red blood cell function. The progesterone is what kind of gets the uterus ready for pregnancy. And if it doesn't happen, then there's menstruation when it becomes withdrawn. It's important also for moods, for sodium retention, if there's too much sodium retention in the body. And again, I'm just highlighting just a few of them. And then testosterone is important for also sexual maturation in males. But in women, it's important for muscle strength, for fatigue, prevention of fatigue, so energy typically. General sense of well-being really is what's achieved with all the hormones essentially, but also with libido. And so they all work together if they're in proper balance to achieve that general sense of well-being.
It's interesting. People think testosterone is just for males, and yet it's doing some really important things for females.
A lot of very important things. And I'm, again, only touching upon a few. So if estrogen drops, then a woman may manifest menstrual irregularities, mood swings, night sweats, hot flashes, vaginal dryness. For progesterone, also mood swings, a lot of water retention. The night sweats also occur. And progesterone also has some impact on libido. And then low testosterone can not only affect low libido, but energy, muscle tone, so muscle to fat ratio becomes altered. So a lot of important functions. It also helps with bone growth as well. So now you can also have too much of each of those, and typically too much of each of those is some type of cancer. So too much estrogen can lead to breast and uterine cancer, too much testosterone, prostate cancer in men, and then progesterone also can potentially lead to the breast and not uterine cancer, but just mainly breast cancer. So again, it's another thing of needing those hormones to be in balance. So in terms of what I see the most, I mentioned early in our discussion that the three most common complaints that women come in with is fatigue, weight gain, and low libido, and in that order. And many times it is a hormone thing. Not always, but many times it is. So trying to figure that out in addition to addressing other aspects or other potential causes of those is important and can be a challenge.
Let me ask you about your testing. Do you do the saliva tests?
I used to because at the time it was felt to be the most accurate way, but we have found that blood testing is accurate depending on the individual's menstrual status or menopause status, the day of the cycle that the testing is performed, etc.
Now you do more blood testing.